Hi, my name's Anna. I run the Connecting People and Nature project for Coed Lleol based in Merthyr Tydfil. Today we're going to be making lavender wands. And it's a way of sort of drying the lavender. At the moment we've got lavender in season. You've got the lovely flowers and a beautiful smell going on. And this is a way of drying it and preserving it and maintaining that smell and using it. So these would have been made and then hung up in wardrobes to sort of scent your clothes. So when it dries like that, this kind of contains it all in there. And of course, by making a wand, there's a bit of magic going on in there too. So you don't need very much equipment and anything particularly special. You obviously need some lavender. If you can get lavender that's fairly sturdy, because you're going to weave around these stems, so you want them to be fairly thick. There's lots of different varieties of lavender, but yeah, if you can get ones with long, thick stems, that's great. If you haven't got any growing in your garden, you only need sort of, 15 or so stems. So hopefully you can forage for a bit of lavender from neighbours, or often it is planted by councils and things as well. So find yourself some lavender. You also need some ribbon. So this I think I just got from Lidl or Aldi or somewhere like that. Often at Christmas they have some, but I've chosen some of my non-Christmassy ones today. A pair of scissors and just a little bit of, I've got a bit of embroidery thread here, but any sort of thinnish string will be useful just for sort of tying it together. So first of all, you need to select your stems. And so some of these ones are a bit branchy. So that's a good one. We've got lots of little bits as well, so I'll just put those in the vase. So if you just pull off the little leaves, it'll just make it a little bit easier when you come to weaving it. And the main thing at this stage is you want an odd number of stems. I'll keep saying that, and you'll see why you need an odd number of stems when you come to weaving it. If you don't have an odd number of stems, you'll just make it really difficult and it won't really work. Okay, so do have an odd number of stems. So the actual number you need will depend a little bit on your lavender, because you want the stems, if we look at this one again, you want the stems to sort of encase the flower head. So these have got quite a big flower head, so when they're all together, it's quite sort of poofy, I guess. And you want them still spaced enough so you can weave in between. So you don't want so many that it's really close, but you also don't want huge gaps. So on this one I used 13, I think. If you're superstitious, maybe don't use 13, but yeah. Okay, so I've sorted out all of my lavender. So I've got a little vase here now of all the offcuts, and I've got a little pile of leaves that I don't need as well, so I'll move those out of the way. I've got 13 of these, and I've sorted them out so they're all a similar thickness of stems. Any of the smaller ones I've just put back over there. And the next job is just to line up all the flower heads. Okay, so it doesn't matter if all your stalks are a different length, but just sort of the bases of the flowers all need to be in the same place. Okay, so I've got my odd number of stems. I've got 13 fairly fat stems, and I'm just going to use my little bit of thread just to tie those in place. So you can do this with the ribbon, but I always find it a bit tricky tying with the ribbon, so I'm going to tie the thread, hopefully. I'll leave that tied with my arm. So you just kind of want that tied underneath where all the flowers are, and you can wrap that round. Wrap that around a couple of times. And I will just capture a bit of ribbon in that as well, so that's in there too. So choose whatever contrasting colour of ribbon you want, and I am just going to feed that through the heads, so that'll be caught up in the bundle and I won't need to try and tie that in later. So I just put that through several of the heads and try and pull that down there as well. I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to cut off that bit of thread. That bit, we don't need that anymore. Move that out of the way. Okay, and then as ever, actually starting these things off is the slightly fiddly bit. And what you need to do now, so this part here where all the flower heads are, that's the bit that's going to be sort of in this cage of weaving. And what you need to do now is carefully, without just snapping them, you want to fold them down. Okay, so it's good to work with nice fresh lavender, so it will bend rather than snap is what you're aiming for. So just carefully ease them down. You kind of want them sort of spaced out around those flowers so that that is beginning to form your cage. Okay. So and then hopefully, I've got my ribbon a bit caught up there. So you can see you've got the stems going round, and just space them out a little bit. It's always a little bit fiddly. You always need more hands than you've got. So you've got your ribbon sticking out, and then the first bit we're going to do, we've got it going over one of those stems, and so it has to go under the next one. And the more weaving you do, the more it makes sense. So the next one is going over, so then it has to come under this one. So the first round is the trickiest, but then it does all settle down. So it's come under, just these in order. It'll go over that next one, and it'll come under that one there. So this kind of sets the pattern that you're going to then just keep maintaining. So it's worth spacing your sticks out correctly at this point. So we've gone over, so that's an under one. Okay, and trying to sort of pull it up to the top there as well. So then we need to do over that next one. And that will be under. Again, several all bunched together here, over that one, under that one. Okay, and then we're pretty much back to the beginning. Okay, so then this is why it's important to have an odd number. If you've got an even number, you'll just keep going around in the same pattern, but with the odd number, it means that the one that you went over on the first round, as you come around to the second round, you're going under that one, and so you'll get that sort of fully woven effect rather than caught up. So under that one. Over that one there. So it's beginning to sort of take shape. So keep going round and round, and the important thing with any weaving really is just to keep the tension good so it's not all saggy. And you'll find when you get to the bottom it'll start to go in again, and then it'll get really tricky to weave, and at that point you can just sort of wrap it round and round, ready to finish off. We cut this, and then to fix it, if you it around and then poke it back through itself. You've got a little knot going on there. And if you just do that one more time, that'll back through itself. Roll that over so it's sat neatly. And then how you finish it off is kind of up to you. You could keep going round and round the stems if you wanted to. And then you could turn that into a hanging hook. Or that one I just finished with a bow. So it's kind of up to you what to do. But you can trim off the ends so they're even. And you do then just want to have it so it hangs upside down. It'll dry and create a lovely scent. And even as you're making it, there's an amazing smell in here now as I've sort of been squeezing it and all the oil's being released. Okay, so that's how you make lavender wands. My name's Anna, Coed Lleol, and if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, there's lots more little instructional videos on there.